So I get a lot of questions, and a lot of questions have to do with, let's say, resetting the adaptations with the GS-911 tool. Now, why do we use the GS-911 tool? Now, basically with the GS-911 tool, and this is it right here, this resets everything back to zero. And this is a Brentuning procedure. This is a BMW procedure. It goes back to, let's say, like 2001 on the cars even, where they'd make a mechanical change, and basically what would happen is they'd have to plug a diagnostic tool in and reset things back to zero. Now, what that means is we're taking basically incorrect, let's say, fuel data or ignition data, and that the bike is collected while you've been riding it, and we're resetting everything back to zero. And this could be incorrect ignition, fuel and throttle correction from previous programming, throttle angles even. I mean, it changes everything basically. And we're putting it all back to zero. Now, by adjusting it back to zero, it allows the bike to learn in the correct direction. Meaning that if it has some stuff in there already that's learned, that it was bad stuff that it learned, it's gonna carry over to the flash, and that's what we don't want it to do. Now, if we make it learn in the right direction, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get the best performance and power output out of the gate. It's absolutely required to get the advertised gains from the Brentuning flash. Without doing this, I mean, we're talking the bike may have a few symptoms like lower power or rideability. After setting the bike, you need to let the fans come on. So basically after you use the GS-911 tool, which I'm gonna show you how to do here in a second, you're gonna turn the bike on, and this is for the 10 through 18, turn the bike on, let it idle, and let the radiator fans come on. You'll hear them come on, they're nice and loud, about 220 that happens. So let that happen, and that will get the optimal back to zero. Now what that means is, if we're all on back to zero, that means for the first like 3 to 4 wide open throttle pulls, it's gonna feel soft. It's gonna feel softer than it's felt before, but it will pick up power. And basically we want you to keep on doing wide open throttle pulls until we're actually repeating a number on the dyno, or it just feels really good on the street. That will help everything out, because now we're back to zero, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna take, let's say for example, the ignition map. It's gonna start at base, and it's gonna look for knock. And if it doesn't see it on the next pull, it's gonna give you a little more timing. And if it doesn't see any knock there, it's gonna give you a little more timing in the next pull. So that's why it just keeps on kind of gradually going up. It's kind of a safety feature for the actual bike itself. So let's get to the video. So today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to reset the adaptations on the 1516 S1000RR. This is actually very simple, but it is exactly a very crucial thing to do on the bike. If you get a Brentuning flash for the 1516, you're going to need to reset the adaptations with a GS-911 tool. If this is a 10 through 14, the Brentuning handheld that comes with the 1014 stuff will actually have Brentuning flash on it and have an adaptations reset on the handheld. You will not need the GS-911 tool. If this is a 1718, I'll explain that procedure at the end, but you will not need the GS-911 tool. So let's go ahead and get into the 1516 here. This is the GS-911 tool. Okay, well this is what it comes in. When you unzip it here, you actually have the diagnostic tool itself, and you'll have a cable. Now, these two things, of course, are needed to reset the adaptations, but you also need a laptop computer with the HEX software on it. Now, in case you guys are confused about where to get that software, there's a little booklet right here that kind of shows you exactly how to install the software, how to update the software, and how to open the program so you can connect it to the bike. I'll show you from there. So we're gonna get this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and connect, if I can even get the USB right. I'm gonna connect the USB here, and I'm gonna connect it to my computer. All right, so once we're connected to the computer, we have this circular port right here. This circular port was gonna go into the diagnostic port on the bike itself. Now, on the 1516, this is exactly where it lies, right here. We're just gonna unscrew this. That comes right out. I'm gonna put that on the ground for now. And we have a couple, there's an arrow right here. Now in the instructions, they'll tell you line the arrow up with the arrow here. So I'm gonna put these two arrows together, and then you spin it. Now it's locked in place, arrow to arrow. I can't move this anymore. So now that we have this connected to the bike, you'll see it doing a little bit of work here with the LED. It's connecting to the bike. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna open up the GS-911 software. So I'm just go in here, open this up, and there it is. Okay, so now that's connected to my GS-911 tool. I'm going to click right here, and this opens up a website, which actually is connecting to the GS-911 tool itself. So wait for that to connect. And then basically all we have to do is go into series. This will be defining the bike. And I'm gonna go into S series because this is an S1000RR. And then right there, S1000RR, and it says 2015 right there. So it's 2015 right there. I don't know if the zoom will ever work on this camera. There it goes. And then right here, this is kind of important, the voltage right here. If it drops below a certain voltage, you're not gonna be able to reset adaptations. So make sure you have a good battery charge as well. So we're gonna go ahead and click on that. You're gonna have to key the bike on so it actually connects to the bike itself. So I have the key in the bike right now. You hear it starting up. Now I'm not actually have the bike on, it's just being keyed on. That's so you can connect. The actual computer has a charge to go to the GS-911 tool itself. I'm gonna click on engine controller. And I'm gonna go down to service functions. It's connecting right now. I'm gonna click on adaptations here. And the first thing I'm gonna wanna do here is I'm gonna reset the knock sensors. That's the most important one. Now I'm just gonna hit continue here. Here, doing some stuff. It tells you to key the bike off. And it tells you to key it on. That has been completed successfully. We are good there. So now we're gonna click back. Another good thing to do here while we're back in the adaptations again is going to be the reset throttle valve, or I'm sorry, reset twist grip. Not the throttle valve, the twist grip. So this will tell you a few things here, and basically we're just gonna click continue, and this is just to make sure we have 100% throttle on the bike because it is throttle by wire on these bikes. Click continue, key it off, key it back on again. Now it's gonna open the throttle 100%, so go all the way till it stops. Now it says 100%, now it says close it, and just let it go. Resetting ECU, turn it off, turn it back on again. That's been successfully reset. Now we're gonna go back again. And I'm gonna go to adaptations, and the last thing I like to do is to reset the mixture. I'm gonna continue on that. Key it off. Key it back on again. That's been successfully done. Now, that means all the adaptations are now reset. There's a whole bunch of other functions in the software that I'm not gonna go over. At the moment, this is just for the adaptations reset, but the GS-911 tool is extremely useful. Let's put it that way. There's a lot more than just this to it. Now all we have to do is disconnect all this stuff. So we're gonna take this out. Put it on the ground. Take this, that. You're gonna put the cap back on it. Put this back where it needs to be. And then all you gotta do is start up the bike, let it get up to operating temperature. So the fans come on, the fans have to come on. Let the bike idle until the fans come on. That is a very important step. If this is a 1718, all you gotta do is put the computer into the bike, start the bike and let it idle all the way to operating temp. You do not need a GS-911 for the 1718. You just need this for the 1516 resetting adaptations. All right, and that's it for the video on resetting the adaptations. I hope it helped some of you guys out.